Television highlights of the news of yesteryear. It's 1918, and the roughneck from Columbus, Ohio, has given up gold for glory. With fame as racing driver far behind him, Edward Vernon Rickenbacker is now in France as Captain Eddie of the 94th Air Squadron. An enlistee, he's made chauffeur to Billy Mitchell, famed aviator, then talks Mitchell into letting him transfer to Air Corps. After 17 days of training, he's given commission, wings, and new plane. Here's how Eddie looked in French skies as he prowled for German foes. April 29th, 1918, he shot down his first ship, then blasted 20 more to become first flyer of World War I. For his achievements as flying ace and as captain and commander of 94th Air Squadron, Rickenbacker, Center, is awarded Medal of Honor by General Girard. Fame he wins in France precedes him to America. At war's end, he's among nation's greatest heroes. America's flying ace of aces, Rickenbacker is merely at threshold of fame and fortune. At home in 1924, thousands cheer as Eddie completes first flight of mail from coast to coast. Now pursuing aviation's peacetime enemies, time, distance, and red ink, Captain Rickenbacker is fast becoming ace of commercial flying. He's now married to Adelaide Durant, has tried automobile business, failed because Rickenbacker car was too advanced for times. So it's back to work with wings. In 1928, at Camden, New Jersey airport, Rickenbacker is at controls of what is then largest airplane ever built. It's another happy landing for Captain Eddie, another Rickenbacker contribution to advance in aviation as national and worldwide industry. Then in 1930, he visits Washington and pays call at the White House, where President Herbert Hoover awards him this nation's highest medal. Yes, to the many honors already accorded him for his achievement as pilot in peace and war, Edward Vernon Rickenbacker is given the Congressional Medal of Honor. Then he asks for and is given job in World War II. Just 16 months after airlines crack up near Atlanta, in which he nearly died, he's off on tour of our Pacific air bases as special envoy of his friend and Air Force General Hap Arnold. And as he heads for Hawaii, fate once again sends him headlong into danger, and another scrape with death is just hours in the future. For 22 days, he and his companions were lost. Though Navy searched Pacific waters for them, they were given up for lost, until one day their rubber raft is spotted by accident. Flown back to safety, Rickenbacker and his companions are weak and worn. One man is dead, and Rickenbacker himself is wasted by hunger, burned by cruel Pacific sun, blistered by wind and biting salt water, aching for more than 3 weeks of confinement in a tiny rubber raft. But he can still show the famous Rickenbacker smile. A few weeks later, he's back on job. And in 1948, as president and general manager of Eastern Airlines, he officiates at historic ceremonies of company he heads and leads. For Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, who shot them down in 1918, keeps them flying today.
In San Francisco, during early Depression days, local unemployed are going to be happy and well-fed if Mrs. Lewis Jordan has anything to say about it. Mother Jordan to broken, jobless San Franciscans, she started this production-like cafeteria with her own money. Impressed businessmen soon ate her, however, but not with money. All Ma Jordan will accept is food and clothing. content to leave care of men to others, Ma takes care of them herself. With cast-off clothing contributed by more fortunate citizens, the White Angel holds forth in her outdoor haberdashery. New clothes for old, and in new outfits, they'll have new outlook on life, as generous Mother Jordan does her best to put shirt on everybody's back.
Here's French druggist Emile Coue, father of philosophy of self-help for the sick. Quitting his drugstore early in 1900s, Coue opened clinic at Nancy in 1910. Here, chief medicine was for patient to repeat famed statement, "Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better."
All set for well-deserved vacation is Marjorie Rambeau on board ship in 1922. Born in San Francisco, Miss Rambeau was child actress in 1901, hit Broadway in 1913, and then went to Hollywood and stardom on the screen.
In full military splendor, here's most popular monarch in the history of Denmark. He's Christian X, King of Denmark and Iceland. He kept his country neutral during First World War, valiantly resisted Nazis during Second. In 1947, death ended his courageous career. It's June 3rd, 1926, and beside New Jersey Pier, Washington Irving, flagship of Hudson River Day Line, is almost up to its superstructure in disaster. In thick fog of previous morning, ship is rammed by tug-driven oil barge. In spite of gaping hole below waterline, battered pleasure boat makes it to shore before settling to bottom of river. Crash causes death of 2 persons and million-dollar vessel is considered a total loss.
Effendi. It's 18th of July, 1930, and this is Zaro Agha Bey Effendi, married 12 times, father of 30 children. Zaro Agha has outlived all of his descendants, for he's 156 years old. Born in Istanbul in 1774, aged Turk was 2 at outbreak of American Revolution, claims he remembers war.
Flying runs in this family. Here's Marjorie Stinson, May 5th, 1919, becoming one of first American women to win pilot's license. Sister of Eddie and Catherine Stinson, both famous flyers and important names in early aviation, young Marjorie has given ample proof that she's top-notch flyer, too. In 1917, brother Eddie set world record for loop-the-looping in plane, doing daredevil maneuver 34 times. Now another Stinson flies.
High over West 48th Street in New York City, indeed high over rooftop of Hotel Belvedere, is Shipwreck Kelly. It's August 29th, 1927, and high in rain-swept Manhattan skies, famed flagpole sitter has vowed he'll hold his perch for as many hours as it took Lindbergh to fly across Atlantic. But weather during night gets rougher than ocean storm. After 13 hours, 13 minutes aloft, he's down, a wiser and certainly wetter flagpole sitting king.
Fashions a la Florida in the days just after the Doughboy. It's 1919, and pretty as a picture is this lovely in her picture hat. A fulsome figure is in fashion, too. In wicker chair and straw hat, the dandy of 1919 makes hay, while his dark-haired sweetheart shines. For the men, light trousers and dark coats were a must. And for women, well, you were old-fashioned if you didn't wear a wide-brimmed hat and dresses made of good dusting cloth. Hems hit up pretty high, very nearly hiding the ankles. And another fashion of the times is a rope of pearls and parasol for the women, and of course healthy appetites for everyone. prohibition is still just a promise or a threat, depending on your bankroll or bootlegger, when these films were taken, and these fashions were taking style-happy Americans by storm.
Iron Bobby. It took 7 years to build and perfect this mechanical man with the golf swing without flaw. Called Iron Bobby, he makes his first professional appearance as golf instructor in early 1930s. And promise is, if you'll do as Iron Bobby does, you'll play golf like Bobby. Bobby Jones, that is. So everybody's eye is on Bobby, as Bobby keeps his eye on the ball. And he can not only swing, he can swat that pellet too. To show that wasn't luck, Steel Nerve Bobby does it again. But what fun is this if you're just a handsome robot? At Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1928, they're off in mile race on rain-peppered track with Intercollegiate Championship at stake. Lermond of Harvard leads until he's overtaken midway in grueling race. But with winner's tape in sight, last lap drive puts Lumen in lead again and carries him to victory. In shot put, Krenz of Stanford is leading contender for title and leading event, wins with brand new mark for meet. In the 220-yard dash, Ray Barbuti of Syracuse is favored, and as was expected, the Syracuse speedster wins. Showing best form and highest reaching efforts in pole vault is Sabin Carr of Yale. 13.6 is great for 1928.